go. We're back. It's another week in wrestling. The Taker's retiring. Are we sure? COVID and people are switching rosters, whether they want to or not. Welcome, everybody. It's time for another episode of the Illuminerdi World Order Wrestling Show. I'm your girl, Giandra LaBeouf, and that is my dog over there with the very dope Shawn Michaels hat. Nate has skills himself. What's going on, Nate?
What's going on, Jay? Another week, another very interesting week in wrestling and outside the ring. I wish we were talking about more things that were happening inside said ring, but we're not. So, it is what it is. I'm going back to work next week for the first time in 3.5 months. So that's very cool. And hanging in there.
I don't know how I feel about it. And on one hand, I envy you because you get to leave your house.
Right.
On the second hand, I'm just like, please, go to work in a bubble. Don't let them people breathe on you, Nate, because we don't put them in a bubble.
I'm going down in one of those things, like those giant clear balls that people run into each other and shit.
That'd be fun. That'd be, maybe for a future Illuminerdi wrestling show, we got to film that. We got to find somebody with a pool who will let us get down with the plastic bubbles, and then you at home can place your bets on who's going to fall down.
There you go. I like it.
So yeah, we're going to stick a pin in that one for later. But as Nate says, ain't really nothing going on inside the ring, so we must talk about what's going on outside of the ring. Last week we talked about wrestlers behaving badly, and they still behaving badly this week, but we're going to talk about some other things because I'm sure you can go find it yourself, and we're not going to do another whole show on that. So with that, Nate, where shall we begin? Where should we kick it off from? Do we want to talk Taker, NXT, Tessa, or COVID? What's your pick? Spin the wheel.
Let's spin the wheel. I hope it doesn't land on coal miner's glove match.
No way.
Yeah, how fucking God damn it, WCW botched Jake Roberts and Sting in 1992. But that's for another show.
Right.
Let's, I guess, with something light. Let's Undertaker retiring, if that light, I guess. Did you see the documentaries?
I did.
Yeah, very well done.
I wasn't prepared to be as moved as I was by watching those. Break it down for us, Nate.
Yeah, he basically the documentaries are really good because I'm glad that the E acknowledged that those matches in Dubai or wherever they wrestled in the Middle East were just awful, and one of them almost killed him in terms of Goldberg botching a spot, and it was a very cool. It was almost like that was the wrestling version of The Last Dance, and I think if they would have pulled more footage from earlier in his career, they could have done a 10-part deal.
For
sure. Just going from 1990 or whatever when he came in till now, and then use all that stuff later on the thing. But they didn't. They focused on the newer stuff, and I'm not complaining. But is he retired? I mean, he literally says at the end, if Vince needs me, it's going to be hard for me to turn down the phone call because now he knows he can have these cinematic matches and not have to get his. I mean, he did look like he got fucking. It was a workout that day, but. But that's kind of how it's been for the last 3 years with him anyway.
Right.
He even said it earlier in the thing, hey, if this needs me, I'm coming. So now it's just okay. Are you retired or not? I don't know. But, if it is at the end, fucking, I salute you. He's the Mount Rushmore of wrestlers for me.
He for sure is. And The Undertaker retiring, no one ever stays retired. Edge was retired forever. I totally wouldn't even be surprised if one day we flipped on the TV and Paige's ass was at the top of the ramp talking about my neck is fine.
Right.
I'm back. Daniel Bryant was gone. Edge was gone. Oldberg comes back. Hell, you might see Triple H in a match, Shane O'Mac, but you never know. The door is always open. I don't think anybody is going to tell the Undertaker no if he just wants to pop in from here and there, but he ain't jumping off nothing.
No, and I don't think, and they made this big deal about the end of the Boneyard match when he rides off on his motorcycle, and he was like, that was a iconic moment for me. I was riding off into the sunset, and I'm like, bro, when I watched that match, not one point did I be like, oh fuck, man, look at the symbolism in that ride-off. I was just like, hey, this was great. He should do this every year.
And it's so off-brand with what we know the Undertaker to be, especially if they're focusing on the later part of his career. I would have liked it better if it was him shoveling dirt on a grave that said WWE, you know,
Sure, something like that. Yeah.
Dirt in. It would be, to me, more of an Undertaker inning. But hey, if he wants to focus on riding off into the sunset, hell, put Michelle on the back of the bike, and that's it. But
yep,
a good,
I agree.
Yeah, a terrific series. Salute to the Undertaker. You know, he personally has brought me a lot of enjoyment over the years with different matches. Salute to Raw for showing the whole cinematic match again, and I got to really enjoy it, and I loved it. It was really good.
Yeah, yeah, they did it the right way, and there was no better time to be able to do that than when there's no fans and you don't have to worry about people, you know, needing to see a certain match the whole time or whatever, you know.
Exactly. So salute to him.
Yeah.
So that is the lighter of our topics. Boys and girls who are tuning in tonight, The Undertaker bidding farewell, but the rest of our topics are not very happy. Not very happy things.
And I believe that you and I were on here a couple weeks ago absolutely begging them to put the Velveteen Dream on top, and the Velveteen Dream just cannot seem to get out of his own way, huh?
I
don't mean to laugh because those accusations are awful. It's just one of those things, like, it just becomes funny after a while. It's like in the movies when they're like, well, at least it's not raining, and then it starts to rain. It's like you hear one or two of these accusations, and then it's every single day it's somebody else, and you're just like, fuck, what is going on?
It makes me wonder. I'm like, how are you even managing to get all this done? Because the way they book their shows, and, you know, for those of you who go to a show, you know, you go on a website, look at their titties. Oh! Oh, wow. Freudian slip. But, I mean, if you Google WWE and titties, I'm sure you could find that too.
Oh, yeah, you can get down a rabbit hole for sure.
Without question. But you look at the cities where they book their shows, and, like, say, for instance, it was California. They'll do like San Diego, Orange County, Los Angeles, and then they'll jet off to somewhere else. But for the most part, where they're doing shows aren't huge, immense states like California, where they're doing several dates within one state. It's usually like, oh, we're in Arkansas. Okay, we're going to fly now from there to Kentucky. Okay, we're going to fly from Kentucky to Michigan.
Right.
What the hell? Aren't y'all tired?
Yeah, I would be.
But still, they managed to behave badly. Velveteen Dream, I'm sure. We not even going to go down. Just Google it. Latest allegations.
I think it's the same reason why pro athletes, it's just a lot of downtime. And you know what I mean? You can say whatever you want. Like, they're wrestling for whatever, and they're going over their stuff. But like, a lot of this stuff is it's on the phone. It's messages and emails and setting up. You know what I'm saying? So like that, and you can do that literally waiting for your bags. You can do that eating on an airplane. You can do that sitting on the training table. You can do that. You know what I mean? And I just, you know, and then I feel like, you know, at the end of the night, when a lot of these things are happening with these misconducts, I just think people are fired up from the show and they're making really awful decisions. And when you get that adrenaline, you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, you know, I don't think some of these people are used to being told no. And then when they get told no, it infuriates them, I guess. I don't know. And I hope it's not true. But if it is, that's bad.
It's just, it just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, like Twitter was the tip of the iceberg. So it could get worse. But here's a question: in our age of gender equality, you know, making sure everyone is equally represented, what do you think the women are doing? Because we haven't had a real story come out about the women just wilding out. Like, the men get DUIs, and, you know, they find them when they got 17 strippers in the bed and an NDA. What do you think the girls are doing after hours? Because I really believe they're like knitting and putting their hair out.
No, I just think women are smarter than us.
See how
I think think it's the same reason why, not to, get onto some, political kind of stuff, but it's the same reason why you don't see female cops shooting people, really, or beating people up, or getting it. You know what I mean? I just think you guys are just more savvy in that sense, and I think guys are get unga bunga. We get caveman fucking syndrome, and I honestly think that's what I think that, and also. It's like we talked about the other week. If Sasha Banks tried to like molest me in an elevator, that's hard to even say. You know what I'm saying? Like
male motivation is different from the female
I
motivation.
totally agree. And if they are, let's say a female superstar is bullying a up and comer or whatever. I mean, there could be worse things. I don't. It's not like when a guy like overpowers some girl and makes her feel vulnerable and helpless. Like, it's different. That's way worse and can happen more. Women will mentally fuck you up, and I think that's what if anything. But they do that shit over time. You know what I'm saying? So. They slowly chip away at that shit.
And the next thing you know, your windows are broken on your
exactly. I broke the windows out your car. Was that fucking Jasmine Sullivan song? That shit was dope.
Come on, Nate. You better know the cut. That's exactly correct. What do you guys think? Those of you who are down in the comments who are tuning into the show, what do you think the women are doing after hours? We know the Iconics don't drink at all. Well, one of them's married now, so she ain't out in the streets like that after the show. Billie Kay looks like she's like been on this marathon like fitness kick with Peyton. So, what are the ladies doing after work? I don't know. If you catch them in a city, if you go to a show and you see them at a bar, let us know.
Fair enough.
If you see the ladies out doing things. But along with that, speaking of wrestlers behaving badly and doing things after hours, that might be a good segue into NXT UK closing. NXT UK has had some issues with behaving badly, and there's talks of the UK closing. Nate, you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I actually I got that news story dropped on me by the number one journalist on my staff, Pumps, Master Shake 61, who's here every week. He actually sent this to me right before we went on. That apparently it's costing them a lot of money to keep that promotion afloat, and a lot of the British dudes are getting popped for sexual misconduct and all that kind of thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if WWE. I mean, I watch their pay-per-views and they're great. The wrestling on that show is phenomenal. I don't watch their weekly stuff. But I'm right now, Jess, swear to fucking God, I'm going to get serious on you right now. If WWE UK NXT goes down and they don't sign Walter and Imperium to some sort of long-term deal and bring them over to the States, I'm going to write a letter.
I think you should. Nate, you've been so on point with some of your kind of Nostradamus predictions lately. You might be calling some things out, because you've been on point for about 2 or 3 weeks in a row now about what should happen, and we've seen some inklings of things happening that way. So speak it to existence for the people in the back who didn't catch you say it.
Walter and Imperium are probably my favorite thing in wrestling right now. Walter's entrance music is so dope, and it's just like a classical piece of classical music, but they threw it, you know what I mean? But just their whole entrance when they walk out and they're standing there and they're like fucking European soldiers. I don't know. It shit is just fresh to me. And when they wrestled the Undisputed Era at a pay-per-view a while back, it was just they're just fresh. And a couple of them other cats, I'm drawing a blank on their name right now, but there's a handful of people from that brand that should be saved if they go under.
The possibility is there, because let's look at the tag team landscape right now at SmackDown. We're down the Usos because I can't figure out, because we've got the less gregarious Uso who's not injured, who is a good wrestler, and he's cool when he's in tandem with his brother, but they're not going to give him.
They're never splitting
a single run.
No.
So you need that. We've got Otis all hooked into the thing with Mandy Rose, so he's not really doing the tag team thing anymore. So there's an availability there. Over on the Raw side, I don't know what happened with Ricochet and Cedric. They had a nice little thing going there, but they've been off TV now for what, like 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Yeah, I don't get it. It's I don't understand. I don't know. AEW is just putting on a way better product week to week.
Mm-hmm.
They just are. Like, did you see that match with the Revival? Like, that shit. Like, I don't care that for some reason on AEW show, I don't care that there's not a crowd. I don't know if it's the way they shoot it, or if it's the way they're putting the match together, or whatever. But AEW with no crowd is just more watchable to me than NX or than WWE on a week to week basis. But that's just me.
Their stuff makes more sense because I think that with WWE, they're still kind of in that mindset of crafting these big elaborate storylines, but right now they're limited, so the storylines don't make sense, and they can't really do what they want to do because you don't have all the production, the pomp and circumstance, and the audience, feeding into the shenanigans. And they just haven't figured out a way how to scale it back. It's like when you bring like a Broadway actor to be on a TV show and they're performing up here. It's like,
right.
It's TV, fam. It's a TV. You bring it down a bit.
Yeah.
And I think they just don't know what to do because they've done it a certain way for so long. They aren't bringing in enough new voices into the creative section. They just kind of keep recycling the same people, shuffling them around and putting this person here and that person there, but they still have that same WWE resume. So it's more of the same thing. You're just putting a different person in front of it. For them to evolve it, they just have to, drain the swamp and get folks in there and just get back to the basics. Just focus on wrestling. You can't do what you were doing because there's no audience to to hype it up. That's why AEW is making a better product. Speaking
of swamps, are we getting a Bray Wyatt cinematic swamp match at
just hurt, man.
It could be dope though. It could be dope. Come on. Did you think the Boneyard match was going to be good?
I did not know what to expect with that Boneyard match, and it was excellent. But see, here's my thing with Bray. I think they're planting the seeds of it just not so well. I watched Bray do this whole shoot on Monday when he was talking about his history and how he should fear. And he looked out into the distance, and I knew that was a man to fear. Bray, that ain't even your damn character. The problem, they had him waxing poetically like, I looked at the distance, and I knew there was a man, and that man had a torch. That was lit by the souls of 100 dead people. Bray, come on, bro.
There was a man before a shovel, and a shovel before a man, and a man before that man.
And the man next to that man said,
"Yeah. Mm-hmm."
You step it up. And
that Charles Dickens.
It kind of ruined it for me because Bray is good on the mic. I don't have a problem with forget these hands. I'm with that. I would rather them kind of build it more so him being him, like, there's some bullshit. I'm going to break him up when I get in the ring. He's going to get these hands and wish he never had his little stupid fun house or his playhouse, and him just breaking up the dolls and the mannequins and do it like that and make him crazy. And then you bring in the heat to set it up. But I just thought they started off on the wrong foot. And I feel like Bray's he could be a little limited. I don't know. It could be good. Like you said, no one expected AJ Undertaker to be dope. So you just never know.
I'm not a fan of Braun Strowman, so I don't care. I don't care if Braun Strowman gets eaten by a fucking alligator in this thing.
Okay, well, yeah, let me rewind all that back. I know the audience is like, what the hell is this girl talking about? What the hell she's talking about? Braun is who I had the issue with the waxing poetically. There was a man.
Not Bray.
Came in on a bike. Not Bray. Braun. Bray kills that.
Well, you can tell that Braun, it's written for him. You can tell. Like, you can just, when it comes out like that, you can just tell it's somebody else's words. You know what I mean? And
So funny. They should have just let him go because he came out. Let me get my mic. I came out here today. I saw a man out there, and I knew this man because I have a history with him. He's gonna get these hands, but I might have to go in the swamp.
He's gonna get these hands, but these hands are gonna be protected by gloves because I don't want the coronavirus.
Coronavirus. So yeah, I wasn't feeling Braun's waxing. They needed to. Maybe he was nervous because I almost felt like he was reading that shit off of a teleprompter. I'm like, put a little more of you in it and just say, hey, we got family history. It didn't work out. We gonna settle it. And then you bring it. They didn't even use, where's Bray at? Why? We didn't get no cut in, no, we didn't get no cut in, no him on the screen. Like,
when is Extreme Rules? Is it next weekend or weekend after?
I don't know. I know it's coming up soon.
Maybe we'll get Master Punks just said that your Strowman was the promo of the year.
Look here, kids.
You should do Braun every week.
Was supposed to be over before. I messed up and I pissed Vince off. And Vince almost gave me these hands. I'm back and I'm gonna wrestle somebody I already was in a faction with. Do a good job or the fans gonna boo me.
That's funny.
We'll boo from home. And
just there's only a couple matches that are announced on this card currently, and I saw that the other one was Jesus, Nate, Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. Why the fuck do I care about that?
Dolph Ziggler is the greatest wrestler of all time. Is that what he's always saying?
Listen, Dolph could work, but it's just been so many years that they've never, ever really gave him a shot that every time he's in like a title picture, it's just like, you know what Dolph Ziggler is? He's that, what's that fucking tape that the guy's like, got a leak? Fucking he slaps the fucking, what's that tape called on the infomercial?
Is the sham wow of WWE.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like,
you don't necessarily need it, but when you get it, it works on everything.
Flex tape. That's what it's called. Need a guy to bump around? Dolph Ziggler. Flex tape.
Need a guy who's gonna fall off the ring and still sell it?
Yeah. Need a guy that kind of validates your title? Flex tape.
Need a guy who slagged Jack and Kurt Henning's curly hair back in the day? Flex tape.
Ah, God damn it. That's funny.
I guess they say, well, he ain't got coronavirus. Put him in it. That'll work.
Yeah, right?
Who doesn't have corona? We're going to talk about that, too. That's a mess. But who do we have left? Who's not sick around here? Let's see. Kevin's probably injured. Samoa Joe, you're still injured. Okay, too. Corey, you're too old. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And Taker. Dolph Ziggler, yes.
Yeah. Wait, we haven't used him in a while. Dust him off.
I wish, what I wish they would do with Dolph Ziggler? I watched Dolph do some comedy before, and he really is funny.
I've seen him too.
I wish they would repackage him completely.
It's too late. Jay, it's too late. No. Dolph Ziggler is Dolph Ziggler. It's too late. It's too late. What's he gonna be?
I want him to cut his hair off. I want him to stop wearing the pink tights and do something different. Put him in, give him the little vest that Baron Corbin used to wear. Put him in the Mater D little vest and some jeans and have him be more of a comic act. But I guess he's probably really Puritan in his approach to wrestling, so he probably wouldn't be down for that. But make him more of a comedic act. He's a comedian.
I feel like Dolph Ziggler would have worked as a horseman.
Yes.
In the maybe in the 90s.
Some people just work better in factions, and he never had that. To me, he just never had that thing that propels the guys to the next level. He's good on the mic, and he's good in the ring, but I never would envision Dolph Ziggler all over the covers of magazines or doing commercials. I'm a little teapot commercials with his daughter, like a Roman Reigns, or being on the cover of the video games like a Seth Rollins. You know, sometimes I'm not even fully convinced about Seth, but that's a whole nother topic.
I mean, listen, I think Dolph Ziggler's a better wrestler than fucking Dean Ambrose.
Oh, for sure.
It's just Dean Ambrose for some reason just is over with they dig the fucking I'm a crazy guy deal. Like I feel like Dolph just kind of came in around other dudes that were just a little bit better than him in terms of getting over with the crowd or selling merch or whatever. And every time he was about to, like, you know, pop off, you know, another dude comes around that you know, Seth Rollins becomes the guy. Like Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, what's the fucking difference? Yeah. Seth Rollins is just a better character heel promo. He's just, I don't know. He's just a better asshole, I guess. Yeah. You know what I mean? But and then we have what do we got? We got Asuka and Sasha. Mm-hmm. Right? That should be really good. I'm for that.
I hope so.
Asuka's kind of the MVP of the pandemic, I guess. She's her matches are pretty much rock solid every week.
Yeah.
And then what's the other one? Bailey and
who's Bailey been tumbling around with?
Jesus.
See, forgive us fans,
That's how you know this show is real.
It can't. See, here lies in the problem of now. This is very indicative of the issue with WWE's product right now. It's not memorable. It's not memorable. Despite all these stars that you have working who are talented athletes, the web that they're spinning for them is trash. It's just really, really bad. It's like when you watch a movie and a movie has like a huge ensemble cast. Like, say for instance, Knives Out. Knives Out was one of my favorite movies last year. Knives Out had a gajillion characters in it, but for whatever reason, I could remember all the characters in the movie because it was well written.
Sure.
I can't even keep up with the damn matches anymore, and I watch it every week.
Right. Yeah, nothing stands out. There's just nothing, and that's okay. It's just I don't know. I hate to sound like an old head all the time. I mean, I know, you know what I mean. Like I'm 40, I get it, but like, it's the same with like music and I just look at like, you know, wrestling from like 97 to like 99. Like, even if you weren't, or 02, whatever. Like, even if you weren't Austin and let's say, you know, Mick Foley or Dude Love or whatever at the top of the card, like, you were into the Godfather's feud with so-and-so, or you were into Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett over the IC belt, or you were into all of the different storylines. It just seems like it's just a big like crapshoot. Like, hey, let's just throw some fucking people out this week, see what goes down. Yeah. You know what I mean? It just doesn't seem like there's any sort of direction, and it's hard to keep up.
That's what that's how they suffered with that whole 24/7 bout and just having everybody and their mama run out there. Right. And then they had the period of time where it was like everything was a 4x4, a fatal 4-way. Right. Let's do a mini rumble. Like, it's like, what is this all working its way to?
Sure.
What does it work its way to? What are you? If everything's a fatal 4-way or everything's this or a tag team match.
It's like when they have 3 fucking Hell in a Cells on one show.
And then it kind of bastardizes the belt because then there's no true run for the belt. Like, it doesn't make sense. The last good storyline they did that presented a true cohesive ending point was Kofi winning WrestleMania.
Sure.
Like, it was built beautifully. Right. And then they came with Bray Wyatt. And that was built beautifully. They were killing it with him, and then they screwed it up. I'm like, right. How does he lose? What do you mean?
It seems like they get tired of it, or they just go, I don't know. I know, you know, we follow each other on social media, but I posted a video of Vince looking like he had just escaped a fucking mental institution in that Undertaker fucking documentary. And he literally looks like he's just like got crazy eyes. Like, and I can't believe that dude is still the end all be all for booking decisions. It's crazy to me. Like,
it's not much different over. I don't know if any of you guys who are watching watch. I'm sorry about the dog, the fireworks. He's scared. It's Billie Jean, the official dog of Illuminerdi wrestling show. But it's like in boxing. There's a promoter named Bob Arum, and he's the promoter of Top Rank. He promoted Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya and all them back in the day. Bob Arum is 80 years old, and he still goes to every fight. I love Bob, but Bob, it's okay to chill. Like, you don't have to everywhere. And the same is for Vince. At this point in his life, Vince been working a long time. Why doesn't Vince take a step back and go, I'm kind of the president at whatever the term is when you're president, but you're not really there?
Yeah, like,
Hunter, right. let Triple H get cracking. Hunter clearly is capable of doing what needs to be done. He's doing it for NXT. If you just fully relinquish the reins, there's no telling what he could do. And I don't know if Vince.
Maybe it has to do with stockholders.
Maybe.
And you've got this publicly traded stock, and Vince McMahon has been doing it for the last 40 years or whatever. And they're like, all right, well, we're going to take this $1 billion company. We're going to hand it over to my son-in-law, Paul. You know what I mean? Like,
not even my son. Ooh, you know what? I never even considered the fact is maybe it's like one of those Korean soap operas where it's like the son and the stepson hate each other. Maybe Shane Mac is back there like, you bet not give him.
Well, Shane was never in the picture. It's all Stephanie. Stephanie is Vince, way more Vince than Shane. Remember when Shane left the company to go to China to create some fucking company that just didn't work out, that he came back 10 years later? Yeah, it's Stephanie more than anything, I think.
On a side note, totally unrelated, but related, I bought a few shares of stock in a company that Shane has right now, and they give me no money. I'm about to sell that shit. So, Shane, you haven't been at WWE. I need you to work on this company so I can make my money. I only bought that stock because it was Shane O'Mac, because I got love for Shane O'Mac. That's the only reason why I bought these stocks. So, Shane.
I expect Shane, give Jason dividends.
Period. We're trying to get paid over here. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Our dear friends, NXT, I don't know. I don't even have anything good to say.
Hang in there across the pond, NXT.
Yes. What Nate said. Hang in there. And everyone else, we'll try to be better at remembering the matches, but I can't even promise that because it's just not memorable. Now, if you catch me on the Sundays when the pay-per-view is there, then I got you.
Sure.
In the weeks leading up, if the storyline hasn't been substantial, I'm not going to remember. I'm not.
And listen, you can make a promise to be better, but I've learned never to make a promise to be better. Because then
that would be a good segue for the unboxing we're supposed to do.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we got to get on that. We got to get on our Vince McMahon show to fucking start coming through with some of those unboxing products.
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
We're talking to you, Joe Illuminerdi.
Man over there, he's probably watching us right now. This is good shit. It's good shit.
This is good shit, pal. Keep talking. Another thing too, Tessa Blanchard, who, I mean, I can't believe that TNA put the main heavyweight title on a female. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You can send your hate tweets to @NathanHasSkill. I really enjoy a good social media fight.
Or maybe you're
But I cannot believe that they did that, and they did it. That seemed like it was less about, Tessa Blanchard is an amazing woman wrestler, and it was more like, let's see if we can bump ratings on our television show by having a woman champion of the males. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just felt like a fucking media grab. Mm-hmm. But Tessa's great. Everything I've seen from her, Tessa Blanchard's fantastic, and her dad works in AEW, so I don't see why she wouldn't be wanting to hop ship immediately. But I did hear that now she's got I mean, who does it at this point? She's got issues as well, right? Like, didn't like some racist shit come out from her? But yeah, right? Like,
Yes,
if,
Tessa.
yeah,
Girl. Hey.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you are not a Tessa fan.
No. Tessa doesn't seem to be a fan of my people also. So
See, and now this, prior to me saying that, I didn't know what she got in trouble for. I just know she got in trouble.
yeah.
So it was, she went down the Hulk Hogan route?
Yeah, she was dropping some N-bombs and
Oh, see, then that's not good. We don't, well, no, never mind. Never mind, AEW. Retract everything I just said.
It's just so, what I will never understand, and here in a nutshell for, I know that people are out there really capitalizing on white guilt and all that kind of stuff with the whole, we're not going to call master bedrooms anymore, and stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
You can think whatever you want when you're inside your house.
Right.
Just don't impede people's ability to, compete for things or
Totally agree.
Oh, in a nutshell, what Black folks want. That's it.
And I apologize. Just another way that this show is in terms of just two people talking, and not a lot of research. Like me and Jay don't talk during the week. Nope. We hop on here. And had I known what Tessa had really said, I wouldn't even have said that. But I honestly didn't know.
But it's all good because
no. And I know, and I'm not apologizing whatsoever because I didn't know. But yeah, if that's the case, then that's fucking awful. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
the ladies have been riding her. She tweeted something like, "Women should support women. Give it a shot." And that started with another wrestler, Black wrestler. I can't remember her name right now. And she said something like, was it women supporting women when you called me the N-word and spat in my face? I was like, ooh. They lucky they didn't have a battle rumble in that locker room because those are some fit women. That could have been a good scrap.
And you know what's funny is that Pumps sent me this Tessa story. And it says, and I didn't read it. I literally just read the article because sometimes that's just what I do. So I'm not, I'm not claiming to be some sort of great journalist or anything. But it said, like, Tessa Blanchard may come to AEW, says Big Swole, who is a black chick. Uh-huh. So I didn't read the article, but Big Swole is probably not thrilled.
Yeah.
About it. And I wouldn't be either. So I didn't read the article, so I just thought like it was just like a chick like, yeah, she's coming over. But apparently it is not a yeah, she's coming over at all.
It depends on, what you value, because on one hand, you get super duper ratings.
Right. But that's not, right now is not the time to do that.
Do you know, so on a side note, like you said, we don't rehearse these shows or anything like that. I did not know Ricochet was Tessa Blanchard's ex-boyfriend.
I didn't know that either. I didn't know that. I didn't know who somebody was dating last week too and was absolutely floored. I forgot who it was, but wow, really? I didn't know that.
During the course of just kind of Googling her, when I saw all the discussion going back and forth about how she shouldn't come, I saw lots of people talking across my timeline about why she shouldn't come, why she should come, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, just that tidbit popped up, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's sometimes you just want to crawl into people's heads just for a little bit, just to see what's going on in there. Like, what was that movie? Like Being John Malkovich? Remember that movie?
Yeah. An excellent movie too.
Yes, it was. Absolutely. Because I don't understand how people's brain works that way. But whatever. That's a topic for another show.
I know. That'll be one of the unboxing topics because in
that's Illuminerdi Wrestling Order After Dark.
Maybe, when I don't have my own full underaged audience here at the show, exactly. We might have to just do it virtually. It just won't be like our sponsored product.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just pretend that it is. We'll just pretend. So we have about 13 minutes left in the show, and we're going to talk about probably the most serious of our topics today, and that has to deal with the ongoing elephant in the room, COVID-19. So there are, well, to preface it, we saw this week that Renee Young and Kayla Braxton both revealed on Twitter that they tested positive for COVID. Kayla said she tested positive twice because after she got it the first time, got over it, and she's been out in them streets again and got it again. And she tweeted, don't be stupid like me. Take it seriously.
Right.
But now there's reports, Dave Metzler and Satin over at some of the other wrestling sites are saying that as many as 24 people have tested positive for COVID, but they're not distinguishing between if it's staff, if it's in-ring performers,
right,
like
employees.
Yeah, who are these people? If I'm a wrestler, I'm pissed. You're gonna have to drop some names. I know there's some HIPAA, but that's kind of irresponsible. If it's a performer, you're just gonna put me in the ring. You don't even know. Maybe it's the camera guy that's closest to the ring. Like,
right.
You got to drop some names. And this is very serious.
Yeah. Well, I read something too that said, how they have like the crowd around the ring, but the crowd is NXT wrestlers and performance center employees or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who stooged it out or whatever, but they said that they wouldn't let them wear masks out there because they didn't like the way it looked on television.
That is so ridiculous.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, no, why? Like, nobody cares. Nobody's watching this going, fuck.
Oh my
Look
God.
at those people wearing masks. Channel change.
I think anyone on planet Earth, anywhere on planet Earth, would understand why they're wearing masks.
Right.
If it's such an issue, design them some fly shit. Like, make them some masks that are representative of the talent performing that night. Like, make them a Ricochet mask. Wear
luchador, like luchador things, like luchador masks, but with, you know what I mean? If they were, like something interesting. The fact they didn't like how it looked on television, it's like, have you looked at your product? Fuck a mask.
Fuck a mask. Exactly.
I don't like what your product looks like on television.
Shoot, I've even seen there's a person on Instagram. I was thinking about getting one. You can send them a picture of your face, and so it just looks like a continuation of your face. Hook them up with something like that.
Right.
I saw Jay Uso posted something on his Instagram of him wearing like a bandana around his face. And he was like, you're not going to catch me slipping. And I'm very intrigued that, they let him go out there with that. He had it on his face during one of their recent fatal 4-way, triple threat, whatever the hell
they probably don't want a Roman Sami Zayn situation where he's just like, yo, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
So if he's like, I want to wear a bandana, they're like, yo, you go out and wear a bandana. But, Joe Blow rookie signee or Jane Doe rookie, performer, can't go to Vince and be like, hey, I know you just signed me to NXT, but I want to wear a mask out there. He's going to be like, yeah, I don't like the way it looks on TV. Beat it, pal. You know what I mean? Like, so I just don't think they have any pull, and they're so glad to be there that they're and they're young. And I'm not going to lie, Jay, if I'd probably be out there in no mask if that's what they told me to do. If I'm living my dream, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's I guess it's just where you're at in either life, or if you're confident to the point that they're not going to let you go because another company will sign you, and you can maybe say, hey, I'd really prefer to wear a mask or whatever if you have any kind of stroke like that. But if not, I mean, you're just going to do what they tell you to do, I guess.
Yeah. Eat it, and then then it makes you beg to wonder, like, what do their new contractor agreements say? If you test positive for COVID, we're not liable.
Right.
Unionize yourself, people.
That's you know what? That I could see that happening under Triple H.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen while Vince is alive.
No.
Ever. And I don't even mean like a full union. I just mean like a 401k and some medical benefit, like a regular job.
Exactly. Just something, just because of the nature of what they're doing. They're risking their bodies. They're risking, aside from the COVID, they're risking their health.
Let them pay into something. So 20 years down the line, you don't look like fucking, Kamala with no legs Like, that's just so sad. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and you see that cat, and you're just like, fuck. Like, oh boy, he didn't know how to save his money, and most of them don't. And they end up just looking, and they just end up looking super like, man, like you were that dude.
It's another one of those sports, honestly, that's born of poverty. It's not like tennis or something like that, or where you got to have money. A lot of those kids who get into pro wrestling and boxing and MMA and sports like that, it's a sport born of poverty. It's because they got picked on or something like that. And so they're just all in, all gung-ho. But they need some protections. I mean, you dedicate your life, because everybody is not going to be, a Mark Henry or a Dave Batista or a Triple H, or these people who can keep coming, Undertaker, who can keep coming back and still keep doing things with WWE and make money. And they can do something, or at least give them some type of advisory upon hire that teaches them how to invest their money, or just something. Because
the option. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. But you're giving them an option.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So with that, everybody, and ultimately what we're saying is wear your mask.
Yes.
Wash your hands and wear your mask. And here in California, our fair governor has already said he's shutting back down bars and all of that. So
seven different cities, right?
Yep. So load up, go to Costco, load up, because you can't go nowhere. And when you do, make sure you wear your mask.
And only get as much toilet paper as you need.
Right.
We're gonna be all right. I promise.
Yeah. No one's gonna have a chorro. That is not a symptom of COVID. So stop buying damn toilet paper up from everybody.
Exactly.
And I think that's it. I mean, hell, do we have nice background? Do we have anything else, Nate, from you for the good of the order?
I think we went over, and every week Pumps gets mad that we ignore New Japan Pro Wrestling.
You know what, Pumps? I have like all these windows open, and my perspective for the show, I can't see the chat. I mean, I could open the chat window, but if I
watch the chat
window, I'm looking like this.
Yeah.
And it's gonna look weird. So next week, I got you.
And exactly. And it's not that I don't we're ignoring it. It's just I don't think it's something that either one of us watch. And they were down for a while, right? Like and now they're back. And I love New Japan. It's just I don't. It's hard for me to watch their weekly product. I mean, it's not hard. I just don't fit it in.
I got a great idea. So fans who are tuning in and you're upset that we're not covering your particular promotion that you like, because we only can watch so much content in the course of a week, I want everyone to record like a 30-second video and send it to us. Either go to the Illuminerdi website and look at the contact information, or DM it to me or DM it to Nate on Instagram, and minimally we'll see what you're talking about and run through your run-through.
Yes.
What happened on the show. That way we can make sure all wrestling platforms are properly represented here.
I like it.
Show.
I like it.
Send that to us. No, I'm dead ass serious. Because
me too. No, I think that's fantastic. I think if there's something that we're not covering that somebody wants to hear our take on, then by all means, please, I'll talk about whatever.
Yep.
Obviously, whether I know shit about it or not.
Every week, Nate's gonna turn about New Japan World Order.
New Japan World Order.
We're just making up names. Called Shanghai Wrestling, or just call it whatever. But just kidding. But yeah, send us your videos. We want to represent for you, but we only got like 4 eyes between us. So help your folks out. Send us a little update, and we'll shout you out, and we'll read your update. And you can be part of the Illuminerdi Wrestling World Order family and be a reporter with us. You could be like the sideline. You could be like the Caleb Braxton for us, or they don't even have any male sideline reporters anymore.
They don't?
There's Kayla. There's the other pretty blonde girl.
Oh yeah, because they put Saxon behind the desk. Yeah.
There's Charlie Caruso. Yeah, there's like no fellas. So fellas, help us out. Send us the stuff. We'll take care of it. We got you. We don't want anyone to feel left out. We want to put our arms around you and all be family.
Also, Chris Haskell in the chat mentioned something funny too. He laughed at us saying, "Hey, we'll discuss if we're not discussing what you want to discuss, blah blah blah." And he wrote WWF Superstars. And absolutely, if you want me or Jay to watch or discuss something old school, we'll do that as well. Totally. You just have to give us enough time to actually watch it. Get it in by Monday or Tuesday, and if it's an old episode of something, we can watch it, and then Jay and I will take a few minutes and do a breakdown or anything funny that we saw on it or whatever. I think that might be a fun segment each week, regardless. So,
sure. Finish your best or worst squash matches. At least we know those back.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna do some stuff like that.
Yes, for sure. So yeah, Nate, where can they find you at, my brother?
At Nathan Has Skill on all the social media things. Instagram is what I'm most active on. Don't get freaked out if you see my face on a celebrity's body in some creepy sort of video.
I love that so much, and I love you for doing it because you have brought me much joy this week.
I do rap stuff. Actually, you know what? I want to apologize. Because every week, listen, I'm a guy that realizes if I'm not going to make excuses for stuff, I realize that if I fucked up or if I'm lacking in something. And every week I come on here and I peddle my music, and I still what are we on, episode 10 or 12 or something, and I still haven't gotten a fucking theme song for this show, and I apologize for it, and I'm going to work on that soon. So hopefully I'll have an intro theme for us, but I want to apologize for not doing that. But with that said, Nathan Has Skill, bandcamp.com, Nathan Has Skill at SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. And Jay, where can we find you?
You can find me. I don't have no bars. Right now, in fact, I don't even have a car. Follow me above. Follow me on Instagram at Giandra LaBeouf. I ain't buff because I ain't working out, but I'm gonna do this show every week to put up some clout. We talk about wrestling and Nate Has Skills, but y'all gotta watch this show so we can pay these bills. And
bars.
Follow me at Giandra LaBeouf on Twitter, on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe. The Illuminerdi on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. Tons of great stories. We might be dropping a good story tomorrow, wrestling related. So make sure you tune in. So that is our show for another Sunday. We love you. We love wrestling, but we don't like what wrestling doing right now. But we're going to just keep hoping it gets better. So with that, good night.
Peace.